Hey, Alan, thank you for joining me. I wanted to ask you about something, right? So, generally speaking, HR finds it a bit more challenging to make data-backed value add for businesses, especially when it comes to making like data-driven, business decisions due to a combination of several factors. Some issues genuinely being on the infrastructure side of things, like data is distributed across several systems. So, not every company will have invested in a single suite of tech, and some may have multiple vendors or even have outsourced functions like the payroll, right? So in some cases, the required data might not even be collected. Having said that, there is some level of synergy between marketing analytics and HR analytics, except for the fact that one of us is a revenue generating department. So as a trusted marketing advisor to other businesses, what do you think are the three lessons we can probably derive from marketing analytics that can be applied to our HR counterparts?
Well, okay, first of all, Hamza, thank you for having me. Actually, there's a lot of similarity between HR practices versus marketing side. What we need to do is we need to take a step back and think about this. Think from it from a customer journey perspective, right? If we start engaging somebody from the early stage and the end goal is for them to depart some form of currency, right? Wouldn't an employee or a prospect of an employee actually goes through exactly the same processes, right, as a prospect who wants to buy a service of yours, right? Because all the difference is the currency at the end of the day that you're trying to get out of the employees, their time, right, instead of money, right? So from a marketing perspective, if you look at where we are today, it's exactly the same as many other processes that look through this journey. One is there are really too many systems out there in order to fully get a 360 view of what happens. Someone actually needs to stitch the system together and to bring the data together, right? So even if you can do that, then what you need is you kind of need a operational layer, right, that helps you to maintain it and to facilitate the consumption of data over a period of time, whatever that is, right? A lot of time when we come to data, one of the biggest issue is we don't focus on the outcome, we focus on the vanity metric, right? And by that, what I meant is sometimes the vanity metrics is very good for presentation slides, but when you come down to the attribution of that benefit, what truly is. So from a marketing perspective, we tend to look at what is the revenue outcome and the potential impact of lifetime value, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I flip this over to HR, then it could be employee commitment and how long is the hiring, the employee stay with the company, right? And if HR agree, it's easier to sell to existing customer than to acquire new customers. Same, right? It's easier to retain existing employee than to acquire new employee, because the cost of doing that is high, right? So the first thing I would say is we need to make sure that everybody focus on the outcome and less so on vanity, right?
Vanity metrics.
Yeah.
So outcome, not the metrics, the other vanity metrics.
Exactly, right. So this is where a lot of us fall short, right? Because we tend to want to look at the good, nice shining object, and then so on and so forth, right? So if we know that we focus on the outcome data, and the other problem that from a marketing point of view we tend to face is we overanalyze it. Yeah. Right. And over analyzing it sometimes, it's a downward spiral. By the way, it's just like you start picking little pieces of information and try to apply a context and thinking that little piece of information, when you pull the lever, is going to change something. Actually, that's not true, right? So one of the things that we do from a marketing perspective is we want to deploy fast, we want to fail fast, right? And the idea is to have both a short term, what is your bandwidth of failing fast, what is your appetite of failing fast from a short term perspective, and at the same time do not lose the midterm or the long term goal, right? when I look at HR, let's start with recruitment. As simple as recruitment. Sometimes I find that the long-term impact of what you don't do, right, can be detrimental to the company more than what you don't do from a short-term impact. And I meant this by, for example, the handling of rejected candidates.
Candidates, yeah.
Right? Do you just ghost them? What does that really mean, right? And goes back to marketing. If someone buys something from me and they face a problem and I ghost that customer, you can be sure I have lost the customer, right? So why shouldn't that apply to being an employee and existing employee, right? Inbound is always better than outbound, right? It's always better to have employees who are willing to work with you even before you ask them, versus you're trying to convince someone to work for you, right? And all this small little action taken, right, be it based on data or not, right, actually has an impact.
That's definitely true, right? Internal career moment versus external hire decisions. So
Exactly, right. And this goes to my third point is about agility and adaptability, right? And I think in today's climate, in fact this is the most important point. Things changes so fast, right? What you spoke about 3 months ago potentially could be no longer valid today, simply by could be due to some political uncertainty that arise somewhere in the world, right? And this is where I think two things has happened. One is the macro level. People it's beginning to feel that they are kind of like, wow, such thing as a lifetime employment anymore. I know lifetime employment has not been around for a while, but now even corporate culture is at risk, right? So from a HR perspective, then how do you adapt to such behavior, and how do you be agile about it, right? Because there's always two sides of a story, right? When you look at all such comments, and whether do we have the ability to manage, right, the both negative and positive perception, right, of the corporate world, right? So these are what I would say as some of the learnings that marketing always goes through that potentially HR can leverage on. Yeah.
perfect. Thanks for sharing, Alan.